Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our coverage of WCS America qualifiers, the qualifying tournament to decide which 8 players will be in Season 1 Premier League of WCS America. I'm Axel Toss, joined by Axlav. We've had some pretty good games so far. I've learned a lot.
I have too.
Hopefully you guys have learned a lot.
Yes. What I thought was really cool, Hwangsin adding that robo in reaction to seeing that early gas. That's something that you don't see too often. Really cool reaction from him. It contributed greatly to that Game 1 win for him. Can BadCop make a comeback? We'll see, because game number 2, we're going to start it right now. The map is going to be Daybreak.
Daybreak. I've seen this map a bit. I'm pretty sure a lot of people might be familiar with this map. It's very popular in Wings of Liberty.
That's right.
So it's not too surprising to see these players resort to it a lot. But you know, about last game, I have one more question for you before we move on into this one. Let's say he hadn't scouted that early gas. How does his build change?
He would just
do the same thing, like as far as Blink Stalkers.
I'm almost positive he had to plan to do Blink Stalkers. If you're gonna do Blink Stalkers against the build BadCop did, you're gonna do it against any build. Because BadCop did the build that's probably the best opening against Blink Stalkers.
Yes.
Just a little bit of miscontrol on his part. Some great play by Hwangsin. Hwangsin's a guy who loves his early timings. He gets him really figured out exactly how to play him. His micro is almost always extremely precise.
All right, here we are in Game 2. Let's see if he can continue his success from Game 1. In the bottom left-hand location, we have the Red Protoss player from Team Quantic Gaming. Up 1-0, he is Hwangsin. His opponent in the top right-hand location, perhaps trying to make a name for himself. One of the few things I know about this guy is that he's beaten a lot of people in this tournament to get to this point, and he is on the Academy of Clarity Gaming. He lost Game 1, so he must win 2 games in a row here, or he will be out of the WCS America qualifier for the Premier League of Season 1. He is BadCop. So,
again, going for that gas from BadCop. So definitely likes this opening. I would not be surprised at all to see him do the exact same build he did last game. One thing, you know, a lot of these players from the Americas, their primary source of practice is a ladder.
Yes.
And typically when you're playing ladder, the best way to optimize your results there are to perfect the same build. Because you're going up against a different opponent every single game. That people aren't going to say, oh, he did this last game, so I'll do it again.
Right.
Well, they're not going to try to mind game you so much.
I can think of some exceptions, but yes, for the most part, that is absolutely true.
I mean, eventually you might get a reputation, but...
or if you're at the top of the ladder, you only
yeah,
get a certain number of people.
It's still, though, you have at least a couple hundred people you can match against, even if you're number 1 GM. So it's really good to try to optimize the build, get it really down really well, and just perfect the use of that. And I think that's something that BadCop has done, because he's doing this exact same opening, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. This is a great opening. It's not like even if Hwangsin did know beforehand exactly what BadCop was going to do, there's nothing Hwangsin could do to like hard counter it. He can't just say, oh, he's going to do that, so I'll just do this and I'll win easy. There's no such thing, because it's such a standard and powerful opening from BadCop.
A little bit of a deviation in builds here from Hwangsin, getting chrono boosting the heck out of a couple Stalkers here, and going to have a Zealot on the field. So he's going to do a Zealot, Stalker, Mothership Core Pressure. I guess with the intentions of hitting before this bunker, I'm trying to think, I guess you could potentially just try to run by and go straight into the natural. I'm just trying to think a point of getting all these units out.
Run by would be extremely risky. If SCVs meet you at the top of the tier ramp, you're going to lose pretty much all of your units there. It's not going to be happy. Of course, the early game Protoss units, they can often beat the early game tier units into open because they can outmaneuver them. Of course, Stalkers with their speed, but if they try to run into a tier base, then they don't have that room to maneuver, and stat for stat, the early game Protoss units aren't going to be very good if they're stuck in a fight where they can't use their maneuverability. So
he's going to do it.
Is he going to do it?
Yep, there it is. Running right into the natural. And the Mothership Core is here, so it's not like he's trapped back here. He could potentially recall a little bit later. The Marine's
BadCop's not pulling any SCVs to help him out, but if his Marine micro is spot on, he should be okay. Still no SCVs coming.
Oh, if he targets on the SCV, the command center won't be able to finish.
He doesn't, and BadCop still hasn't pulled a single SCV to help in his defense.
Oh, and he used the Time Warp, and so he can't recall. Hwangsin did.
Yeah, so the Stalkers are going to be forfeit as soon as BadCop decides to pretty much...
an orbital right in front of him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to run. Interesting.
I'm really surprised BadCop didn't unload the Marines and kill the units.
Yeah.
He had 7 Marines versus 2 Stalkers that couldn't move and had no shields. I mean, Time Warp or not, or at the very least could have unloaded when they tried to escape and block that. But as it is, Hwangsin's harass, you know, it was a very risky choice, but I think it definitely paid off. He lost only single Zealot. He delayed the command center for a good amount of time, got an SCV kill and a Marine kill.
All right. Pretty cool little opening there from Hwangsin. You know, he did delay Warp Gate a little bit, but that's not going to matter at all at this point. He, you know, chrono boosted units instead of probes, which, you know, in this case, I figure, you know, might be worth it. So I'll have to see what happens here. It's not like anyone has a significant advantage. It's not like BadCop loses the game, but, you know, a nice little pressure build there from Hwangsin. Again, able to delay that natural expansion. But BadCop wants revenge, sending a squadron of Marines and a Widowmine across the map. Now, the Militia Corps should have enough energy for Photon Overcharge in a little bit.
The Widowmine taking a lot of damage by these Stalkers as they kite back across the map, trying to bleed out this army. Oh!
Gets the
great
force
field.
Oh, the Stalkers overextending a little bit. One getting taken out, trying to target down that Widowmine.
Still a great trade by Hwangsin, though. I mean, I think he got like 6 Marines there.
He kept the sentry alive, too.
He did.
4 HP, pulled it back.
BadCop being very bold, trying to go up the ramp like that.
Militia Corps. Where's the Militia Corps? There it is. It has enough energy for Photon Overcharge right about now. He's going to deploy it. BadCop's going to back away with the Marines, and I guess his only option is to wait for Photon Overcharge to finish, but in the meantime, Hwangsin, I should say, can warp in additional units, and he has an Observer on the way.
BadCop's going to try to bypass that Photon Overcharge using the medevac, heading into Hwangsin's base right now. Hwangsin, though, he has Observer out. He has a good number of units. Yep. I'm not sure what BadCop is going to try to accomplish here. Maybe he can pick off 1 sentry.
He's got a lift and run.
Oh, not even.
Even the Widowmine there, but the Observer should be able to see that.
Yeah, he should pick that up and get it back into medevac. Actually, he's unloading his units again.
The Widowmine going to take a shot at a Zealot, going to kill him, but the Widowmine going to get taken out. A Widowmine for a Zealot, I'd take that any day. And Hwangsin's going to hold. Nice little defense.
Yeah, Hwangsin putting on a good defense. BadCop trying to put on pressure. Hwangsin's going double Stargate. I think he's trying to have a little bit of fun with this one. That's a very unusual opening. I mean, it's sometimes a weird mid-game thing. He's going to be chrono boosting out a lot of Phoenixes. And if BadCop doesn't realize this, not only could he take devastating SCV losses, but if he gets caught trying to do a significant drop, and his medevacs are in the open where they can't actually drop units, these Phoenixes could tear him apart.
Also, keep in mind all the Marines Hwangsin has been able to kill during the early part of this game. That might have a lasting impact on this game, as far as not having enough defenses against the Phoenixes. Once they start getting crazy, you don't want to let them get out of control. Sometimes you have to peel away some Marines to each base. So something to consider as this game goes along. BadCop retreating back to his natural expansion, going to salvage his bunker, adding on his 3rd command. So I think he saw this Observer, and Hwangsin going to try to sneak out of there. Doesn't want to get that Observer killed. Very important little guy. Meanwhile, the Phoenixes are going to start trying to get some harassment done. And a Void Ray follow-up here from Hwangsin.
Interesting follow-up. Of course, the Void Rays are very effective against some Marauders, and BadCop actually is not producing Marines very fast. Only a single reactor barracks, really cranking out the Marauders. And Hwangsin's opening is actually going to work out very well against this.
Is he pretending that's a hallucinated Phoenix?
I think he is. Yes, he is. He's only scouting around the 1 Phoenix. He's still hiding his build. BadCop, actually a 3rd barracks going up on a tech lab.
That's a real Phoenix.
Very Marauder heavy. Oh, now he knows it is for sure, obviously. So maybe a reactive 2nd starport could be a great move by BadCop, or of course it's getting a lot more Marines.
Scan. Sees nothing. Oh, sees 2 Void Rays.
Oh.
Colossus is about to finish.
Now he knows exactly what's going on. He knows there's not going to be fast charge. There's not going to be fast blink. There's not going to be a lot of stalkers on the ground.
Units.
Yeah, exactly. This is the perfect time to go ahead and take that 3rd base, add a 2nd reactor at starport. Instead, just cranking out a lot of Marauders, getting that 3rd orbital command.
All right, we see BadCop taking down the rocks leading up to this national. Hwangsin has his Colossus out, and that's the feeling when your first Colossus comes out as a Protoss, you just feel
super safe.
You feel super safe. And he has these Phoenixes watching out for the drops. So one of your main concerns when you go Colossus is potentially getting dropped in your main. But when you have these Phoenixes out patrolling, that's not necessarily going to happen. So unless the Terran player has a ridiculous amount of units to overwhelm your army, you know, Hwangsin, he's going to be feeling very happy.
Okay, finally a 2nd starport by BadCop. A reactor being built on the factory, so that should be swapped over to that starport. Once that gets up, The only problem is it's going to take him a long time to catch up, as his first 2 Vikings are just being built right now.
Yeah.
Of course, until he gets a good Viking count, he can't fight Hwangsin. There's too many force fields. Maybe if he gets like a 3-way flank, he could somehow get past those force fields and get that Colossi. But unless he gets something magical like that, he's going to need to get a really high Viking count before he can deal with the army of Hwangsin.
I wonder if Hwangsin's even going to take a third. I mean, we've seen lately that he loves his 2 base plays, and he's not making any probes right now. So a part of me thinks he's just going to push across the map when 1-1 finishes and try to kill his opponent.
I really think that's likely. This strategy, when you get the 2 Stargates before third base,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to take a third because the army that Hwangsin has, it can't really split up. Like, so if you want to defend, if you take a third, you have to split up a portion of your army out into your main to defend drop play. And what portion would he split up? I mean, maybe he can't keep the Phoenixes there forever. At some point, he's going to need those with his army to help fight against Vikings. And if he takes any bit of his army out, all of a sudden he doesn't have any meat to tank for his army. It really has to stay together. He's going to try to hit this great timing here. He's got 3 Colossi and a lot of air support. I think BadCop might have to sacrifice his third base temporarily until he can get a Viking count. And he needs something like to deal with
a lot of Vikings.
Yeah, I think he really wants to be up to like 15, 16 to 20 Vikings even. He's actually going to move
he's
out.
going to try to engage. Guardians are going down here from Hwangsin. BadCop is going to stim and turn around, but the Colossus doing ridiculous damage from above. Time is what he needs right now. Whenever you're basing a 2-base all in, you need time, but BadCop choosing to engage in the middle of the map, and Hwangsin, I think, is going to be just fine. The supply must be misleading.
Well, BadCop was significantly ahead in supply, but remember that Hwangsin's, now it's equal, and you have to remember, Hwangsin's supply is very expensive supply. Each Void Ray costs a lot of money. Each Colossi costs a lot of money. So his supply is much lower than the actual strength of his army.
GG from BadCop. Hwangsin just getting the fun units of the Protoss race, and the Colossi, Void Rays, Phoenixes, and just powering through off of 2 bases once 1-1 finishes. And BadCop trying to engage the middle of the map. Potentially needed to wait for a few more Vikings before trying to greet that. Is going to end up losing. So Hwangsin is going to advance to the next round. BadCop, unfortunately, will be out of the tournament.
He was. You know, the one thing I think that really went poorly for BadCop in that situation is, you know, there was no charge or blink, so cutting with the bio can be extremely effective at that point. But he actually charged down a ramp to fight Hwangsin. So
he actually thought about, I think, retreating back up.
He did.
But then he realized that would be a bad idea.
Yeah, and he had no room to kite.
Yep.
Without any room to kite, without a sufficient Viking count, he had no chance there. Hwangsin's going to take that series 2-0. Our next match is going to be Hwangsin versus Apocalypse. The winner of that, of course, is going to qualify for the Premier League.
And we have that team trifecta. I guess we were talking about 3 Quantic members in the final 3 of this little quadrant of the bracket. The STC, Apocalypse, and Hwangsin. Only 2 can move on. STC already through. But now we're going to find out who is going to qualify, either Apocalypse or Hwangsin. Guys, we're going to find out in this next best of 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick break.